Hi, I'm Dan Stein, president of FAIR. We're going to talk about what's happening all across the country. Some good news, a lot of bad news. In light of recent events, we want to tell you what we're doing in all 50 states to try to work to improve immigration control, improve enforcement, and try to stem the tide of illegal immigration. I'm joined by Sherry Rendell, who's FAIR's director of state and local outreach. And Sherry does a great job for us and her team. And she's going to update us on some of the breaking news and some of the events that she'll want to be participating in, and particularly try to weigh in where you can to make a difference. So welcome, Sherry.
Thanks, Dan. It's been a lot going on, and I think I want to kick it off with what's going on in Prince William County, Virginia, just in Fair's backyard. As you know from our previous discussion, the Prince William County Board of Supervisors had stealthily nominated some folks for the jail board, and they were the ones that were trying to get rid of Sheriff Hill's 287G program. And those nominations were approved. FAIR had urged reconsideration of the nominations. We had testified down in Prince William County to no avail. The Prince William County Board recently flipped in the last election, so there's now 5 Democrats, 3 Republicans, and it was a tough fight. They actually voted in closed session at 2 a.m. in the morning. So now what we have is a jail board that is stacked to eliminate the 287G program, which has been in existence in Prince William County since 2008. It's been under both Democrat and Republican presidents. And the 287G program is set to expire in the county on June 30th. The jail board wasn't supposed to meet, according to its bylaws, until July. However, they've scheduled a meeting for June 17th, next Wednesday at 6 p.m. And it is likely that they will consider this 287G agreement. So we are asking everyone, if you are a Prince William County resident or in one of the neighboring counties, to weigh in with the jail board. They can go to our website. We will be sending out an alert in the next day to let people know. And we're also asking people to join us for a rally outside of the Adult Detention Center in support of Sheriff Hill's 287G program.
Respecting social distancing, of course.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, this is part of the whole Democratic Party position now, where they basically want to shield criminal aliens from removal and are doing everything they can, and not just in Prince William County, which has a history of actually very good policies under Corey Stewart for many, many years. And you would think they would respect the sheriff's desire to do what he thinks is right. But this is happening in areas around the country as well. So yeah, I hope folks turn out for that rally. Where else are we looking now, right now? Let's see, we've got...
So New York, no surprise, is been very active lately. In the legislature, we had the New York legislature submit in the budget a provision that would expand New York's green light law, which you might recall gave driver's licenses to illegal aliens. This provision now makes it a Class E felony to share information with ICE, CBP, or any successor agency. And that could be punishable up to 4 years in the state prison. So you see them slipping things in without giving much warning. So it's very difficult for us to be able to see and be able to rally folks to oppose these types of actions.
Well, what are people saying about it? I mean, are they reacting? Because this is not exactly subtle here. This is a malicious attack on immigration laws, immigration enforcement. This is overtly aiding and abetting illegal immigration, promoting it, encouraging it, along with providing stimulus checks to illegal aliens. They're doing everything they can to make it impossible to enforce the laws. Nothing subtle about what they're doing. So, I mean, are we getting a response from people concerned about this? No enforcement concern.
Absolutely, we're getting a response. Our 287G sheriff up there has made some comments, as well as folks that had originally opposed the green light law. We had some Republican legislators that were very much opposed to this action, and the green light law is still being challenged in court. There hasn't been a decision on the appellate level yet, So this issue is not going to go away. We're going to keep fighting, and we just want to make people aware of this and to engage if they are up in the state of New York against this further impingement on law enforcement.
Well, I think it's important to keep in mind that at the federal level, if we had a Congress that were supportive of what ICE and immigration authorities were doing at the federal level, they could easily pass laws which would be upheld by courts, which would stop this nonsense, every aspect of it, the state and local failure cooperation, the sanctuary cities, driver's licenses to illegal aliens. There are laws already on the books that prohibit some of this, and some legal action has already been taken. But in the end, it's really, you have to put lay it at the footsteps of what you really have as a Democratic House that seems to be complicit in this. While the Republican Party has not been perfect on those issues, they certainly would not historically tolerate this kind of massive law breaking. You'd think in New York State, after what happened over the last couple of weeks, there would be some impetus to start really getting back to enforcing the laws. What's going on? Give me some good news from North Carolina.
Well, there is good news in North Carolina. The North Carolina Supreme Court just recently ruled that state judges don't have the authority to release individuals held by 287 sheriffs. So that's good news for the enforcement of the rule of law. There was a footnote that was dicta on sheriffs that weren't 287G that seemed to be pretty good in our favor as well. So that was one of the shining examples of the rule of law actually being followed down there.
Okay, where else are we going to be looking at right now?
So I want to go back really quickly to New York, just because there's so much going on there. In New York City, we had the city council vote to ban the term alien or illegal immigrant or anything to do with illegal up in New York City, because they say that it is oppressive, etc. And they have basically said that they have to use the word non-citizen. Well, as you know, alien is defined.
This is applying this is not applying to private parties standing on a street corner, right? You're talking about in official government documents.
Official government documents, yes.
I mean, I can still walk into Times Square and I can say illegal alien and I'm not going to get arrested.
No. Official.
That's so generous of them. Amazing. But they want to eviscerate any distinction between alien and citizen, which means they want to diminish the idea of citizenship, is what it boils down to. I mean, there's no such thing as an action without a reaction. And one of the actions is to try to eliminate the concept of alienage, which is core in our immigration law. And by extension, you diminish the value of citizenship by taking away those distinctions. Naturally, that point of view, somehow in a city of 10 million people, nobody is allowed to make that point apparently across there, but our members will, and our members do. That's why we have to keep fighting on this thing.
Absolutely. And I guess this is one more example of cities and states going to improper usage of words to define something that is already defined by the INA. And so it is absurd that they're trying to change these laws. We're seeing it not only in New York, but in Colorado as well. And it's just astounding that they want to do away with these terms.
Well, more importantly, people should be asking the Democratic candidates in the party, do you believe immigration laws should be enforced in a country like this, or should we just let the borders be overrun by people from all over the world? Clearly, at this point, if you piece together their different policy positions, that's what it adds up to. And I don't understand why they are not required to come out and admit this on a regular basis. All right, anywhere else you want to talk about right now?
So we had been talking the last time we talked about stimulus funds, and we had talked about which states and which cities had given funding to illegal aliens. Well, it hasn't stopped at states and cities. We now have a university that has joined the bandwagon to give illegal aliens funding. So Colorado State University recently gave 218 illegal aliens. They each received $1,500 during the pandemic. And at the same time they're giving illegal aliens this money, CSU has been losing, I think it was $105 million during the pandemic. And so you see this going on. They actually had an online petition, I don't know who launched it, to cut off federal funding for this university. But it is absolutely astounding that.
Well, in addition to, California's been giving money to illegal aliens, Maryland, and then you have this George Soros Foundation. Soros is notorious for trying to break down societies, and he's trying to do it here. He's funding a lot of these organizations that are promoting rioting at this point, and he's giving money through his foundations to illegal aliens, which in my opinion is a felony. It's felony harboring, trafficking, to be assisting people in remaining here illegally. And yet for some reason these laws are not being prosecuted. I mean, we face a real national crisis here, and I mean, I can't overstate the importance of Americans pushing back on what is happening around the country. Particularly those states that are running massive budget deficits and then expect the federal government to print money just because we have a reserve currency indefinitely to bail out their profligate behaviors. Donald Trump says, hey, we're not going to bail you out again. And they turn around and go, oh, vicious, cruel, vicious, cruel. Well, you know, where are all these riots happening? I mean, where are most of the illegal aliens? I mean, they're in states run by Democratic governors and Democratic legislatures. And so, you know, these issues need to be front and center in this campaign. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. And I think we need to remind people and encourage our members to get out there and talk about these issues. They can't be swept under the rug. These are important differences between the parties and between people.
Any more different. It couldn't be any more different. If you want to have a country, to pass on to your grandchildren, the events of the last couple of weeks ought to tell you what's at stake. Orchestrated involvement and with the complicity of one of our major political parties. Make no mistake, the effort to dismantle immigration controls is part of a broader agenda. And that broader agenda is dangerous, and it's chaotic, and it's frankly somewhat, it's disruptive, to put it mildly. So everybody likes the idea of equality of treatment under the law, and everybody believes people should have a fair shot in this world. But you do not have the right to break our immigration laws, and we certainly need to have immigration laws that advance the welfare of all Americans, not somebody's partisan agenda. Anyway, that probably wraps it up, right, Sherry? Or is anything?
That wraps it up.
All right, well, give people some words of encouragement real quick, will you?
Sure. I think what we're going to see are people getting a lot more educated on our issues and getting a lot more involved. We have a great ability to give you information. I would encourage everybody to go to fairus.org because we update information on a daily basis, and these are great tools that we can give you. And we are always here to hear any of your comments and to discuss any of the issues going on in your states.
All right. Well, for 40 years, FAIR has worked hard to try to bring truth to power and defend the rule of law, the nation's borders, and the American people's right to decide who and how many people come into this country. If you want to preserve any of that right at all, I encourage you to support FAIR. Go to our website, www.fairus, that's FAIRUS.org. We certainly can use your help. Sherry needs the army of citizens working across the country. We already have several million of you, but we need more because George Soros and his funded army of left-wing radicals are powerful, and they're well entrenched now in the state legislatures. So let's move forward, and on to the next time we chat. So thank you, Sherry. I'm Dan Stein, and thanks for joining us.